Greetings everyone, this is LIGHTSTAR and I'm back. I'm excited to provide on this episode our Oracle Consciousness reading for the third quarter of 2022. And yes, I said third quarter, not second quarter. Some of you might be wondering what happened to second quarter. I will explain that, but this is for the third quarter update. So got a lot of information to share about what's coming up. And so grab your coffee, grab your tea, your health bar, your green tea, whatever you like to drink or have, and snack on while we dive into the content and the updates. So let's get right to it. Hey everyone, this is LIGHTSTAR again. We're back on the platform to provide some awesome content that I'm going to talk about today, which is my Oracle Consciousness readings that I love to do for you all. And I know I have an apology. I am delayed and tardy as I pretty much skipped the second quarter. I had so much going on and I wasn't able to do this content for the second quarter of 2022. So I did my first one, which was the first quarter, and then I got just swamped and I was not able to come out with that second one. So I have my apologies, okay? But so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going right into the third quarter, and this is before we get to the third quarter. So I'm actually, depending on when this video comes out, most likely it's going to be before summertime, and this is going to pretty much cover the summer, or at least our summer here, but it's basically covering more of the third quarter, no matter where you are in the world, okay? So like I said, my apologies. Life just got so many things going on. I have a couple events, back to back, and it just got really crazy and I couldn't catch up with everything. So but this is going to be cool. I'm going to be doing a third quarter. What I like to do with these is it's called my Oracle Consciousness reading, and it's a general reading for basically what's going on, okay, or what I see energetically. Is kind of an energy update of what I feel, maybe some things for us to focus on, before we get to that time period, maybe some things that may be coming in. And what I normally do, I have a certain way that I do my Oracle Consciousness readings, but I'm changing it ever so slightly, just because I felt like it. And I also want to, I always use my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards for helping me out with doing these readings, right? That's kind of what I like to use those cards to, do this reading. And since I have my Celestial Frequencies Oracle cards that are going to be coming out, but I don't have them yet, but yet I do have a deck that I created. Actually, it was just kind of like a mock deck or whatnot before I even submitted it to the publisher. But I do have that, and I actually work with that. So I don't have the deck like in my hand, obviously, because it's not out yet. You can pre-order it right now. And then it's supposedly, we're shipping in summer, supposedly, ish, I say, because we don't know what the timing will be around that. But I am going to actually utilize slightly them in my reading today. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to read from the Magical Dimensions, and then I'm going to also pull a card from the Celestial Frequencies. And what you'll see on screen, depending upon how this ends up, will be, just know that there may be some adjustments that may not be exact. I'm doing a mock up of the image so that it somewhat looks like what the cards will look like, but since they haven't actually been done yet, I'm just giving you the sneak peek of that. So I wanted to integrate them though, because I think that's important. So how I'm going to do this, I was kind of feeling like I was going to pick I was getting the two cards to pick for say like 2 cards for a month, I guess, and then an overall card from the Celestial Frequencies for that month. So it'll be like 2 cards per each month that we're going in succession for the, you know, the quarter or whatnot. Not exactly, you know, a month, but just maybe like split it up like an Oreo cookie. So it's got one layer, one and then double stuff, and then the other layer of the cookies. So it's kind of sandwiched there. So that's kind of how I was just guided to do that, okay? So what I want to do first is I'm going to pick from my magical dimensions, and we're just going to look at kind of what may be coming up in that first part of the first quarter, okay? So I'm just going to pick what's coming here. Sorry, you guys can't see. I have a table here, but probably can't see that. So this is real time here, in real time. I hope you guys are enjoying this content, and if you are, and if you're new, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, which YouTube calls it subscribe. I call it joining the tribe, which is much better because I don't like the subscribe word, but nonetheless, that's what YouTube calls it. So hit that button to subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notifications bell so that you don't miss a thing of new videos when they come out. And also comment on the video, share it, like it. I love to engage in your comments and respond back to you, and I do read them and respond back to as many as I can, so I love doing that. So make sure you give it a thumbs up, like it, share it, comment, and engage with the content here. And also, if you'd like to catch me on other channels, which I am on, BitChute, Brighteon, Odyssey, Rumble, I'll have all the links below, and you can check those out. They come up after after the YouTube goes up. And sometimes there's technicalities, so if it's delayed or it doesn't show up, usually having to kind of check on those after the YouTube video goes up, but they are up there and they will come out. And also, if any of you guys have a need to go onto another platform because you're gotten censored or you want to expand your video programs or whatnot, just to remind you, I like to recommend a beautiful resource that I have found. His name is Matthew Raymer with Anomalist Design and Content Safe, and he can help you to move all your content, to expand, also does website development and consulting. So check out his links below if you need assistance with any of that. All right, so I am picking one card first, which is Dreamscape. Okay, Dreamscape, okay. Number 10, dream work, subconscious, and imagination. And let's see, I'm also picking, to go with that, Throat Portal, which is speak your truth, courage, and suppression. Okay, so that's very interesting. So we've got some energy going on that I feel with this has to do with that first part. It's kind of interesting because it's got the sunlight, you know, the summer sunlight, which probably does resonate to the solar energies that we are having coming in. And gosh, haven't we had a lot of solar flare activity? This will probably be going out later than when I'm filming it, but at the time I'm filming this, we've been having a lot of solar flares coming up. So I think that, and there's always a delayed reaction, you know, so it comes later on. But what I feel this is relating to with this is it's kind of like the solar energies or the activation energies of also things that are behind the scenes. Like we can't see everything. You can't always see a solar flare either happening until after the fact. But I do feel this is also addressing our throat, okay, our ability to speak, our assertiveness, our connection to our communication as well. And this could also have something to do with the communications. Okay, communications may be knocked out, maybe there's downtime, you know, who knows, the grid, or maybe power issues, something like that on a worldwide or, you know, macro scale. That may be something that is coming up with this as well. So I wanted to just point that out. Now I'm going to pick, just so I have a complete 3-card here for the first part. This is where celestial frequencies comes in. So I'm going to pull from this deck that, like I said, you guys can't see it yet, but just shuffling this right here. So for this part, what do we get? Okay, so we got initiation here. Initiation is Valion the Wisdom Keeper. He's in my awesome dragon. For those of you who haven't seen my past dragon activations, you're probably going to want to go see those. Very powerful. I've had several of them with him. And this is interesting though, because for me, I say, okay, we've got solar energies, we've got activation, communication that may be happening, and initiation. So this may be the start of something that is coming, okay? Or we're getting activated, or we're getting initiated, so to speak, to some information that may be coming forth, because Valiant also has to do with the Wisdom Keeper and all of the ancient wisdom and all of the intel and information that may come forth to start to activate the world, start to activate us, start to shift the world in a different direction perhaps, or to set upon a new pathway forward that hasn't been. So there may be some new things that come up with that, and that's what I'm getting in this first 3 cards, okay, for the first part. So now I'm going to go back to my Magical Dimensions deck, and I'm going to shuffle this and see what we get for the second part of that. So this is kind of like mid third quarter, you know, right in the heart of it, if you will, the heart of the center of it. And we get, oh, interesting, we got solar portal. Was I just not talking about the solar energies? So, oh my goodness, there may be some serious stuff going on this summer, or this third quarter. Sorry if I say summer, it's just because here in the United States it's summer, but I realize it's not summer where you guys might be in a different part of the world, but the energy is still, I mean, everyone, doesn't matter where you are, solar energies and solar flares will still affect the whole planet. But so we may be having some of that solar energy, solar flare activity, like heightening and getting us ready for that. So let's see what else comes with that. All right, so we've got releasing with the solar energies, releasing purification, spiritual cleansing. Oh, and by the way, the solar portals is being centered, balancing power and manipulation, coupled with releasing, power, purification, spiritual cleansing, and letting go. So this may be the purification energies, which is, I feel too, related to the solar energy, solar flare energy. It's like purifying. It's like the violet flame, right? It's that flame energy that just burns what is no longer needed, no longer working. So I feel like that has something to do with this and the third part of it. And since we had the throat chakra and subconscious stuff and information coming forth, this may be bringing out into the open what is hidden and needs to be revealed even more than that's already happening in the world. Okay, so we may get some starting with that. And then let's skipping over to my Celestial Frequencies deck to pull that third card. Okay, healing code. Oh, this is one of my healing codes, the 741 Hertz healing code of expansion. And this really has to do with the throat as well. So it's kind of related to this whole communication thing. So we've got a lot of relating, weaved in content here. So I feel like we're gonna have some, you know, we're gonna be cleansing, purifying, and also releasing and looking at that upgrade of the throat energy. So that's the communication again, that structure of communicating. We may be shifting into a new way of communication, maybe a communication system on our planet that may be shifting. This could also have to do with social media, and could have to do with some shifts, major shifts in social media and what's going to happen there. I do feel that that's also exemplifying that. So it's cleansing and purifying of what isn't working anymore, has not been working, and shifting into a new way of bringing in communication. So I think that may also have to do, like I said, with social media, which and also other communication structures and way of speaking, way of being, our speech, and all of that. So those are really both of the 6 cards, I should say, they all have that same theme. So that's something that's going to be coming up. Now, let's move into the last part of the third quarter, if you will, sort of that range. Let me back over to my magical dimensions and let's see what we get here. If you'd like to support my work, you can become a patron, or you can donate to my work as well. And I have a page on my website, that's lightstarcreations.com, and there's a donation page up at the navigation that you can check out all the many ways that I have for you to provide your donation. I've created a vibrational giving as well, where you can, there's set amounts that are energetically energized, and you can choose those amounts, or you can choose your own amount to pay by credit card or PayPal or however you'd like. And also there is a super thanks button on YouTube that's right next to the share button down there. It has a little heart and it says thanks, and you can also donate directly on YouTube if you prefer to do that. But you can also, like I said, I have many different ways. You can also become a patron through Patreon, which I have a site there when the links are below, and you can actually become a patron on there. And thank you so much to all my patrons. I love you guys. Love you guys, and thanks for your support, and thanks for anybody who would like to share and support my work and keep these videos coming and keep the content coming. Really appreciate that. We get Crown Portal, and I'm just gonna shuffle the other second card for this while I'm here, right? And Harmonic Resolution, that's an interesting mix. Okay. Crown Portal, Divinity, Unity, and Separation, with Harmonic Resolution, Negativity, Anger, and Transmutation. So I feel with this trajectory here is really bringing us into our, that's bringing us into our divine selves, our divinity. So I feel like we may be getting an activation for that, but first we clear some of the stuff out of the way. And we move into that energy of not separation. So in order to do that, which is what that second card is kind of all about, this has to do with that frustrations, angers, all really emotions that come to the surface that keep us from connecting to our divine self, okay? Our divine voice. I talk about that, those of you that have sessions with me, I talk about being in your divine voice, being able to speak the divine voice and what that is, okay? So again, I still feel like it does all have to do with communication. This is clearing some of that lower frequencies, lower energies, so the stuff, the emotions that we get stuck in, okay, that keep us from that higher vibrational energy, spiritually speaking. It keeps us from that. And it makes it difficult for us to sift through all the muck of our lower density here, if you will. So let me pull that third card that has to do with Celestial Frequencies deck and see what it wraps up with this. And okay, so we've got Discernment, which is my Vega Fearless Journey image. And this has to do with, I love him, he's one of my favorites, Vega Fearless Journey. So, but it has to do with discernment and having to do with this. And I feel like I just spoke at the conference, well, when this is filmed, it's probably a few months back, but in the Sedona Cosmic Awakening, I spoke about discernment as having to be one of the most important things that we have to master right now. And so in our realm, okay, so this may be coming up too, because this feels like, it's like we have to know this truth that comes out all over the place. We just don't know what is true, what's not true, what feels right, what doesn't feel right, and we look at this and just say where truth is, and having to be very cautious about the information that comes through and how much you adopt that as truth within you. Meaning, instead of looking outside of you and all the external stuff and trying to sift through all that, is maybe what's internally true in here more important than trying to sift through everything out in the external world. So this divinity is going through a process of sifting through your emotions and your stress and the frustration and the angers and all the lower stuff and all the petty stuff that we deal with here, and just kind of maneuvering around through that, discerning through our world, because we've got a lot of information that's going to be coming out, more so even, and then everyone's going to be like, well, what's the truth? You know, we look at one part and then the other, someone comes out with truth, and then somebody else says, no, that's not true. And then it's just this back and forth. So what do you believe, right? Goes back to internally here, discerning within oneself and really getting clear and connected to your divine connection, instead of all the lower mess that may be coming forward, even more so, to not get stuck and trapped in that. And I think that's the message for this whole third quarter, is to not get stuck, not get trapped, not get too wrapped up in this 3D realm here, and to step above and beyond that and be very discerning with that process, so that you can be clear and focused when, if you will, the, stuff hits the fan, okay? Which is already happening anyway. So anyways, though, but this is what I'm feeling is going on from the third quarter. So it's really good read here. I feel like that's showing a lot. We've got a lot of, like I said, solar energies, communication energies that may be knocked out. I mean, you honestly may want to back up some of your data. I feel it's a good idea to do that anyway, but I feel like it's just a good idea to have backups just in case things go awry or things go down or the power goes out or whatever it is. So it's probably just a good idea to have that anyway, given the fact that we have solar flare energies as well. So yeah, it's very powerful. So so I hope you guys like that, because I just wanted to I don't know, include the celestial frequencies, even though it's not out yet. I've been using it in my decks combined. I combined both of them, and I've been using that for a very long time, but that's because I'm the creator of this and I have the ability to have created a deck prior to, but like I said, it's not the final version. I don't have as the one in my hands. I don't have that final one. And so just putting it up here as a little, just preliminary of what it will look like to have you guys get a taste of it, of how it works with the magical dimensions. Really, really great. And the energies of the decks work so well together. And this next deck, Celestial Frequencies, just kind of upgrades and takes it to another level. So I'm very excited about all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little update, and I will do my best to come back and, be on time with, I have to do it ahead of time, ahead of the quarters. And that's where sometimes things, depending on what's going on in my life. So I apologize, like I said, but to miss on the second quarter, but I will do my best to not do that again. And so if any of you guys would like to work with me privately, you can go onto my website, which is lightstarcreations.com, and I have all of my work there, as you well know, but I also have my sessions, many different forms. I have my custom artwork that I do for people. I have my visual attunement art that you can purchase in many different formats. I, of course, have my Magical Dimensions Oracle and the Celestial Frequencies that is on pre-order at this time. And as we approach sooner, I will update you if it comes in early or comes in later, whatever. But right now, that's what we're looking at, is the summertime-ish. So be patient with that. But you can place your pre-order now to at least reserve your copy. And let's see, what else do I have? Oh, my music. I've got my Transcension 2222, Vision Quests and Music, as well as my Music 444 activation, and many, many other things on there. If I have forgotten something, I'm putting a list up here just in case I forget to say all my different things that I offer. So, but yeah, so I want to thank you guys so much I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this. I love doing these little updates, and I know a lot of you guys enjoy this as well. And I will be back to do some more, you know, card readings and different things that I'll do and share more about those as we move forward. So I want to thank you guys and sending you tons of love for this third quarter, and lots of love from who? Well, the galactics, the angelics, the elementals, the spiritual guides that work with you, your higher ascended masters that work with you, and all the different beings that love you so much and just want to assist. So make sure to tune into their help, because they're there to help you. They won't help you unless you ask, okay? So make sure you tune in and ask. And I will be back with more content as always. But for now, I love you guys, and I will see you really soon. Bye now.